So tell your good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Yeah. So set the bar back before the moment flies. Ooh. So tell your good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Ooh. So set the bar back before the moment flies. It's not a problem, no, 'cause I know what I'm getting into. Yes. Yeah. And nothing can stop me. No. 'Cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way.
What's up, guys? This is Rob. I got them.
Hey, this is Murph, and hashtag Romantic.
What's up, guys? It's Shay. I'm the girl, and welcome to the Waiting Table Podcast. I'm gonna sing like Mel and Kel do.
Is that what they do?
Yeah. Hey, buddy, your mic is a little quiet. I don't know if it's on. I can't hear you. We'll get there. Don't worry.
Technology.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there's that
All
smooth
right.
voice I'm used to
That's
hearing.
it.
Here he
See?
is.
You don't get to hear them thighs this morning.
All three boys.
Ooh, imagine that. If my voice was like that. Hey, welcome, guys, to the Waiting Table Podcast. How are you today?
Okay. We're a
I'm
little
gonna do it.
rusty.
We're rusty,
I
guys.
don't know how to
It's
be
been a while.
together.
I know. Usually we have a guest and we have to like be on our best behavior. Yeah,
I know. We're like
nothing.
letting it loose tonight, you
That's
guys.
it.
It's gonna be a good episode.
Gonna be a good one. Thank you guys for joining us on another episode of Waiting Table Podcast, where we have roundtable discussions about the hottest topics in weight loss with, of course, the coolest people from the bariatric community. I'm Rob. This is Murph, and we got Shay. We got you guys. So grab a chair, wind down from your busy day, and take a seat at the table. Look at this guy dancing in the background. He's
Hey,
looking for a
look
charger
at
too.
him. He is the charger. He's
Are you
charging
the
it up.
charger? Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Oh,
Oh,
all right.
opinionated about that one.
All right. Well, if that's the case, Murph, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, doing good, man. Marcus, how you doing, buddy?
Murph says, Marcus, how are you doing?
Good.
You said good. He's like, I'm so tired. I need to go to bed.
Yeah, me too.
I see the circles under your eyes. I can tell. He's
Yeah.
tired.
100%. 100%. Night, buddy.
Good night.
I'm thinking.
These kids.
Okay.
Love you.
Aww.
I just do that for the show.
For the-
Afterward,
yeah,
I'm just like,
You're like, get out of here, normally.
Yeah,
You just got
yeah.
them away.
because all the information, they're just like, oh yeah, they like when you love your kids.
Yeah.
So I'm
I
like,
know.
"All right, I'll do it."
I send them stats all the time. I'm like, people
Yeah.
really like when you're nice to your kids, when you show them thighs, when you
I'm like,
cry.
okay,
So let's
we'll
just
time
really
it.
capitalize on
Wear,
that, you
wear a black
guys.
tank top, Rob.
Yeah.
Wear a black tank top. That's why he does that, really.
There you go. Yeah.
That's what it
You didn't get my
is.
memo.
Look
You
at our
didn't get
views. Look at
the
our
recent
views.
memo
Wow.
on that.
See our views. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. That's it. That's it.
Good.
Awesome. Look, Ned is like, aw, pink waving. Don't
Very
get creepy,
cute.
Rob. What?
Yeah, you were
No.
getting a little too creepy there.
With
We
the
don't
deep
have
voice.
a guest tonight, but we do still have guests. So like, don't be too creepy.
These guests, they understand, They understand us. They know us. All right. What are we doing tonight, guys? I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, we're just going back to the basics. I made a reference. You guys didn't know. You guys don't know who Ina Garten is. The anyway, people that watch cooking shows will know she has a cooking channel and cooking show, and it's called Back to Basics. And I feel like that's what we're doing because we've had a lot of new friends come to the table, and so I thought it would be fun just to do like a little like recap of who each of us are.
Love
And
it.
we have some really good questions that came in. So I'm really excited because there's some good thought-provoking questions. So I'm excited.
I'm not even going to look at the questions that you have loaded up
Perfect.
here. I don't want to see them at all.
Perfect.
I hope there's a mix of good thought-provoking questions and inappropriate questions.
I would
Because
say so. Yes.
okay, awesome. I love it.
Mhm.
I love it. Where do you want
So
to start, Jay?
maybe we can start with Murph. Why don't you tell us just a little bit about you and your story, kind of where you started from, where you are now, what's going on?
Yeah, I started from the bottom. Now I'm here.
Dude, you're coming in hot with all of these like kid
Come on.
references.
Rob
That
doesn't get it.
was good. I liked
Yeah,
it.
that's
Rob
why.
did the sound effect just for clarity. Yeah, there you go.
It's a song, Rob.
Canadian.
So yeah, hey, my name's Murph. I had gastric sleeve about 28 months ago. Prior to that, my weight just always fluctuated, and I always struggled. I had a bad relationship with food. It's still not the best. I'm still working on it. I was able to lose about 120 pounds before my surgery, and then going on to hit my goal and keep going. And now I'm here hosting the show with you guys, and just like this would have never happened if we didn't have this thing in common. And I just love it. I love this community, and I'm always excited to be here and serve this community and hang out with Shay. So yeah, good times. Yeah.
Well, and just so people have a little bit more context too, Murph is a dad. See, I'll just fill in some of the blanks for you guys.
I can say that stuff too. I didn't know how deep you wanted to dive. Yeah.
Well, I think it's a cool part of your journey, especially like how much weight you've lost. Like dig in a little deeper, get a little meatier in your response.
I'm a guest on my.
You're a guest
On your own show, yeah.
Well, no, not just in your own show. An award-winning show, as Netta.
Thank you, Netta.
Let us
Thank
know.
you,
Thank
Netta.
you, Netta.
Yeah. Yeah. So my wife and I we're a blended family. We have 7 kids, and all ranging in age from 5 up to 17, almost 6, to 17 years old. And we live in Lansing, Michigan, which is about right there. That's important. I work now. I worked for about 18 years in the autism field as a crisis intervention therapist, specialist, and a behavior therapist. So that's my background, essentially. Straight out of high school, I was a youth pastor for about 10 years, and then I did the behavior therapy thing on the side, as well as a few other odds and ends jobs. But recently, just the past year or so, I started working at a hospital and fell in love with the emergency room and became an ED tech. ED stands for Emergency Department, not erectile dysfunction, Rob. And I just love it. It's like the job I never knew I wanted. And I've been there for about 8 months or so, and recently applied for a position at another hospital in another ED. Hey girl, hey. And I start my new job. I haven't really shared this a whole lot. I shared it in my story, like one quick little blip. But Elisa and I both got our dream jobs. I'll be working in a psychiatric unit at another hospital in town, and my wife is graduating nursing school next month in less than, I think it's 27 days. We're counting down, and she'll be a NICU nurse, which is her dream job. And so
it's actually 26 days.
26 days. I apologize, but who's counting? And yeah, and so
Lisa's counting.
Yeah, apparently. It's definitely counting. How many hours? Yeah, nice. But yeah, life has really taken a huge turn for our whole family. For myself personally, being nominated and winning most inspiring journey or inspiring transformation. No, God, I always get the two mixed up.
Inspiring Journey.
You got it. You got
Inspiring
it.
Journey and Overall Transformation. Those are the two awards that I was nominated for, and I won Inspiring Journey. And then and then the podcast won, and we just had a great time at the JBYs recently, and I don't know what else. I have 2 dogs, 2 cats, and I like to party.
There you go.
I love it. How much overall weight have you lost, Murph, in total from your highest weight?
My heaviest weigh-in was 464 pounds. And that was after I had gotten COVID and gotten really sick and lost maybe 15 to 20-ish pounds. So I got down to 167 at my lowest. So that's, roughly 315, 20-ish pounds, I suppose. Weighing in now around 175, 180. I'm maintaining, gaining a little bit of weight, possibly a little bit of muscle, but it doesn't matter because the number on the scale, that BMI, and this is something that I'm learning and something that I've recently created. I don't know if you want me to keep going, but I've recently started making shirts and trying to build this brand of loving yourself to death, because it's not the number on the scale or your pant size or your dress size or your BMI. It's that number that they write on your death certificate. One of the reasons I gained so much weight was because I battled depression and suicidal ideation for many years, especially after my aunt passed away at the age of 46. And that's the only number that I know of her. I don't know her BMI or her weight, or I don't know how much she weighed in on the scale, but I knew she was 46 years old. And we all know that. That's the number that's going to stick with us forever, because that's the only number that matters in life. What age we get to live with our family and our loved ones. So that's really important to me, and I'm learning how to step away from the scale. I'm a daily weigher, and you guys would be proud of me. I have not been weighing in every single day.
That's awesome.
It's somewhat deliberate. I just wake up and I say, you know what, I'm not going to weigh in today. I don't need to. I'm comfortable.
Awesome, man.
I'm happy, and so just walking away from the scale. That, and I haven't changed the batteries in a couple days, so it doesn't work.
That's strategy, man. I like it.
Yeah,
I'm proud of you.
a little
That's
strategy, a little bit of being lazy, but the combination, that's what works.
Yeah,
love it.
Yeah, we never have AAAs in the house. We got a crap ton of AA, but anyways. So I guess that's me in a nutshell. I don't know what else to add to that. I'm just still dealing with lots of the ups and downs. I tried posting a few times this week about some of my downs because they're real. Sometimes we only share the good stuff. And it's hard. It's hard to post the negative or the bad. And, I don't want to be a negative Nancy, and, I want to be inspiring and, positive. And it's not always sunshine and rainbows, and that's okay.
I think you're an honest Henry. You're not a negative Nancy. You're an honest Henry, and that's cool.
Honest Henry.
Honest Henry.
That girl.
It doesn't flow. The negativity or the honest. I'm not the honesty, but the brutally honest stuff, the hard stuff. It's hard to talk about, and it just doesn't flow as funny, or as like our little 1 minute funny little videos that we do and stuff like that. So it's harder to share. And of course, hashtag real men cry. I usually can't get through sharing my story without crying, and I feel like a bit of an idiot sometimes, but that's okay. I know I need to share. But dealing with body dysmorphia, dealing with imposter syndrome, and starting therapy and going through the ups and downs of meds are working, then they're not working, and then I try a different med, and then and so there's more to it than just I had my stomach stapled and now I'm I've lost a bunch of weight. It's like, no, this is tough. Like, winning Most Inspiring was such a great, amazing, honoring, like my mind is still just blown by it, but at the same time it kind of did a little bit of damage to my psyche in the sense that, like, I don't believe it, I can't believe it, and I've had to tell myself, like, that was a vote of all of my peers and my family and my loved ones. And for me to not believe it, I'm calling you all liars, essentially. You know what I mean? And that's not cool. And I don't like that. But it's like just trying to wrap my head around this idea that that I have self-worth, or
Mhm.
that I am worthy, and then taking on this self-worth piece and trying to live and walk in that self-worth. It's humbling. It's foreign. It's new. It's very awkward. It's like those baby giraffe legs, that we
Yeah.
talked
The
about
baby
before.
giraffe syndrome. Here we
Yeah.
go. Here it is.
Yeah. So
Clunky. It's weird when
that's
we are doing new things.
yeah. And so it's like phase. I don't know what phase I'm on now. Like it seems like phase 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And it's always the journey doesn't end. We're always in recovery is something that we always talk about here. And when you're battling any sort of addiction or have a life altering surgery like bariatric surgery, or even if you don't have bariatric surgery and you change your lifestyle and you start eating healthy, I mean, it's still a lifestyle change and you're still battling those traumas and those reasons for why you overeat in the first place, or so it's always evolving, always changing. But most importantly, you're not alone, because I'm going through it too. And so,
honestly, dude, I'm proud of you for, like, obviously, I think, I've said this to you tons and tons of time that, like, you are the person I think that so many people can relate to, because you are so vulnerable. You're so open with everything that you're going through. Like, I know that it started with me sort of helping you through something, but then after that, it was me constantly looking at things that you're doing and how you are so relatable. And, it's one thing to sort of just, we share all the good things that happen, right? You've always been someone who's been very open about some of the challenges and some of the things that you've really overcome. And for you today to come out and share the stuff that you've shared with us today, like, it's tough. But I think, Christine had said this, and I think it holds true for a lot of us. Like, this is the stuff that I think a lot of us have gone through or are going through, but it's the stuff that we don't share with everyone, right? And so I think by you sharing this information with us, sharing the struggles that you're going through, the challenges that you're going through, it's the same thing that we started at the very beginning. Remember, me and you started this so men didn't think that they were alone. And now you sharing this is letting everyone know that if we're sharing this too, or if we're feeling this too, we're not alone. So it's important, man. I am very, very, very proud of you.
Well, thank you
for sharing this.
Thanks.
What he said, I agree.
And for those who may not know, I mean, through all of these ups and downs, I've been in close contact with Rob and Shay, and they have been my support system through all of this. And I've been honest with them. And even last week, I had to take a break, and it was a mental health break, and that's why I couldn't join last week. I needed a day to just not do the waiting table, because I want to be able to give, and I wasn't in a place where I could give. I had to receive, I had to take, and knowing that is so hard. When you're a giver, when you're a people pleaser, when you love to serve, and so thank you guys for being in my corner and being supportive and always being there, and those long texts that I send to you guys, and it's like, oh, here goes Murph again. No,
you're projecting that. Yep. Don't call us lying Larrys.
What is you and the alliteration? Like, come on, old lady.
I don't know. I'm vibing with it.
Like, I feel like you need some bifocals on the tip of your nose.
Right.
I know. I'll get right on that. No, but I think that's what's been so cool about this dynamic. And I know, like, Rob and I we can share our stories more a little bit in a minute, but I think this is kind of like a good question. Hold on, let me find where it went.
Oh,
hold on.
The repository of questions.
Okay, yeah. This question here, how did the three of you meet? I think this is a good question with that, because it's fun. I feel like or at least how I've felt is, you guys are my support system too. And as we're learning these new things of how to recognize our needs and then communicate our needs, this has felt like a very safe environment with the two of you to practice that, because a lot of times with family members or even friends or even spouses, whatever, it doesn't always feel like it's a good environment to practice some of these things that feel prickly and uncomfortable. And so I think this just kind of goes along with this question. Does anybody want to answer this one?
I've done a lot of talking. Why don't you go ahead, Rob?
All right. So Murph and I actually met on Rob D. So My Weight is History. I was on a men's support Monday, and just to follow suit, we were talking about poop. And Murph was listening in on that specific episode, and he had questions. And I think, and this is why I think this men's community, bariatric men's community, is so important. Like, Murph reached out to myself, he reached out to Rob, and we were there to help and provide any insight or experiences or guidance or advice. And for me, and I said this, like I just said it previously, like, I was able to see Murph really flourish in that journey. And that's what it's all about, right? You know, Jonathan had asked that question earlier about like giving back to the community. This is why we did it, right? This is why we do it. So to see someone that you can help out grow and succeed was so huge for us. So, you know, Murph did his thing. We all did our thing. Fast forward till about a year and a half ago, I had the idea of doing a podcast, because I loved talking with people. I loved helping people out. And I specifically wanted to gear it towards men, because I still thought that the representation of men in our bariatric community was a bit lower. And even if it wasn't lower in terms of, you know, the overall demographic breakdown, which we do know it is, they don't share, right? And so the thing that brought me to Instagram, which is trying to find someone I can emulate and aspire to and gain inspiration, it still wasn't there. So I reached out to Murph. I was just like, dude, what do you think of this podcast idea? And he was on board from the very beginning. We did some messaging back and forth, and we came up with, you know, the waiting table, all the different things that we say and that we want this to be. And yeah, so early on, it was great. We had a lot of support, but we quickly realized that the goal of having a podcast geared towards men, it was great, but a lot of our audience ended up being women as well. And so we were getting a lot of questions in regards to things that I don't think that we were the best to answer, like periods. No, I'm just kidding. We didn't get period questions. But yeah, we just felt like, you know, at this point we set out to speak with men and help men, but at this point we had a lot of women who were asking a lot of questions, and our demographic had changed. So we ended up, Murph actually had this idea. He was just like, oh, there's this girl on Instagram. She's like really annoying, but you know, she's pretty nice. And he was just like, I think she wants to start a podcast. I know that she's interested in doing a lot more stuff. You know, what do you want to meet with her? And so we're like, okay, cool. And so,
and this was after we'd already been doing the podcast for
like 6 months. Yeah,
almost. We started like in August, September, October, November, December. So 5 months probably.
Yeah.
And we reached out to Shay like in December-ish, and she's yeah. Go ahead.
And we were just like, oh, you know, we want to have a conversation with you, you know, just to interview you to see if you're a good fit. Because we were asking her to be on the show, and we're like, yeah, we just want to see if you're going to be a good fit
as a guest. Is what I thought.
Yeah. And so yeah, we had this conversation, and really and truthfully, we were like interviewing her. We wanted to see, does this person mesh well with us
without me knowing,
without her knowing.
It was a blind date.
100%. And then after the conversation, like literally right after she left, and then Murph and I were talking. We're just like, no, she's perfect. Like we get along really, really well. She has similar values to us, what she wants to do, the way that her vision for podcasting and all these ideas, we were just like, it's perfect. So we literally called her back like it was like 10, 15 minutes after. And then we sort of spilled the beans that it was more of like an interview. And, we sort of wanted to know, did you want to be our third? And she said yes. And first New Year, I remember all that whole winter, like it was Christmas break, and we were just like going back and forth about all these things we wanted to do. We were revamping some things. We were doing all this work, and then New Year, we sort of unveiled us three together as the new waiting table. So that's how we met. But then we first met physically at the JBY Awards. So Shay, you can share that.
Yeah. So Rob and Murph had met in person one other time. They had pad thai. Every time you guys tell that story, it always makes me want pad thai.
It's a pad thai day.
I know I love pad thai. But anyway, they only had met one other time. They did a live show together. But the three of us hadn't met until just in September. And so we decided that because we were like getting at the airport around the same time. So Rob got in first, then me and my husband Dylan got in, and then Murph came in. And so I got to hang out with with Rob and Dylan for a little bit. And then we got to be there to see Murph. So if you guys want to see that, the live of that is on our Instagram. But it was just so fun. It was like seeing like family you've never met in person. Like it's so strange. And like we have people that are still so surprised like that was the first time that we met, because this has just always felt like, I don't know, like meant to be, and like we've known each other forever. And so it's wild how
even now, like, it's coming on a year that we've known each other, and I don't think anyone believes that. A lot of people who watch the show and watch how we interact with each other, and even when we were at JBY's, they're just like, there's no way you guys have just met. Like I feel like it's been such a long time. I know you guys so well. And I think that our chemistry and the way that we are together, like literally Shay is like a little sister to us, right? And the way that I tease her and interact with her is like if I had a sister, right? And Murph is for me like a very older brother. And so
you two are like my grandparents. Like you guys are like my grandpas.
This is some weird incestuous group we got here. But literally when we met in the airport, my first thought when I saw Shay and Dylan was like, holy shit, I am chaperoning this weekend because they look so young. And I was just like, oh God, they're so nice. And they're so like fresh faced and bright eyed. They're like, this is going to be great, guys. This is going to be an event to remember. And I was like, you didn't really say that, but that's the sort of what I was imagining you guys say.
Like we're like Disney characters. I like it. I'm here for it.
It was like, wow, the innocence of Rapunzel over here. And then you guys broke out into song and dance, and I was just sitting in the airport. I'm like, what the
spinning
hell
around.
Is going
you
on
missed that
here?
part, Murph. We'll have to.
You missed this. And she's like, and then like birds came and shit.
Yeah. I saw them on the baggage claim. They were just like going around it and singing, and it was really cool.
Yeah, she was just like that. She was just sort of like this as it was going around, and I was calling security.
Yeah. Well, and I know Rob is just teeing me up because he loves when I tell. He's so much taller than I was picturing in real life. I was like,
as an Asian, that's important. It's important to us.
He's like, he looks like a tall action figure. I was like, what? Unexpected. Yes. And then Murph was exactly how I was picturing. Like you fit perfect.
From the clothes, from the accessories, from everything. Like Murph, what you see here is like Murph in person. Like a lot of people were just like, like you're exactly what I imagined.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if because like a lot of your posts are videos, full body, everything, and there's a lot of context. That's probably it, right? Like mine are all like boring. It's this, right?
Yeah.
But like Murph's have always been a lot more, and so maybe that's why. So yeah. Oh yeah, Netta says that was hard for me to believe that we had just met. So.
Yeah. I had a lot of people tell me that I was taller than they thought I was going to be. I guess
I thought
talked
you were
about
going to be taller
Okay.
when I first met you.
Well, Rob kept talking about how you were so tall, Murph, I think. I feel like didn't you keep saying that? And so
No,
I
was saying, hey, when I first met him, I thought he was going to be so tall.
Yeah,
oh,
I'm
I
not,
don't know.
I'm not there.
No, he's like this,
We're like,
like before my quaff, like
There you go.
right.
At the cough.
right.
If I had no volume in my hair,
Yeah.
that's where he's at.
Hey Rob, why don't you, while I look for the next
Sure.
question, why don't you share a little bit about your story and what got you
Yeah.
here?
Yeah. Hi guys, my name is Rob. Yeah. So for me, my story is very similar to Murph in a lot of senses, in a lot of ways. I was based on the scale, the highest I was ever was 379, 380. 100%. I know I was over 400 at some point, though. We all know that at some point we're just scared to step on the scale. We don't want to see what it says. I've always been big. I had a lot of comorbidities that sort of led me down this path. I was on 15 different medications at one point. High blood pressure, very high blood pressure. I was pre-diabetic, high cholesterol. Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, as mentioned. I know, like Ricky had mentioned previously, like about apnea. I had very, very severe sleep apnea. Atrial flutter. Oh my God, this is a long ass list. And I have herniated discs. I was on a lot of different pain meds. Snow White and the Two Dwarfs.
New podcast name.
I know, eh? Yeah, so like I had a lot of things going wrong, and at one point I had to actually stop working because I was unable to really walk. I was in either a wheelchair or I was using a cane for a long period of time. And so that was a big hit on me because I also am a parent. I have 2 amazing kids who you've seen interrupt our show numerous times.
Just like the memo. Good job of like sneaking in the love for them. That's perfect. That's good for the audience.
And yeah, like I always use a term that I was a present but absentee father, right? I was there physically, but I wasn't there because I couldn't do anything. I was watching from the sidelines, and that killed me. With my daughter, I feel like I missed the first 6 years of her life, or at least I watched it like I was watching a movie. And now I can take part and do all these different things, which I never was able to do previously. And so one of the big changes for me was when my mom died. Both my parents died when they were early to mid 60s. And I was talking with my wife, and we had discussed, my parents never had the different comorbidities. They didn't have the health challenges that I did at this age. Sure, they weren't healthy, but they didn't have all the things that I was going through. And if there's any correlation, which we of course know there is, between your health now and sort of, as Murph had mentioned, that age where you die, if I were to get to my parents' age, then I'd have maybe 20 years left to live. And at the kids' age currently, how much time do I actually have with them where they want to spend time with me? We know that kids get to a certain age, and then that's their time to sort of grow and be their own people. And then later on, they're in their 20s, then they might, understand you a bit more, and then they'll come back. I wouldn't be here when they were coming back. And so that really hit hard for me. And now when I look back at videos and pictures of me back then, I don't think I would have lasted 10 years, 5 years. I don't think, like, my body was struggling so much. And so, yeah, like the big thing that I've taken from a lot of this is really a change in perspective. I think that's what I am the most proud of. Obviously physically, there's a lot of things that I think I've done in terms of challenging myself and changes in body fat or muscle or whatever the case might be. But at the end of the day, for me, it's always been about mindset and the way my perspective has changed, and how grateful I am for everything that I have. And that's always the backbone of me making the decisions that I make to do whatever it is, whether it's with the waiting table, the calendar that we're doing, things that I'm jumping
Pickleball.
myself to, pickleball and bodybuilding and all this stuff. It's always sort of about, and this is one thing I was telling, I mentioned this in happy hour with someone who actually is born where I live. she had messaged me talking about being glad that I'm doing the radical body transformation competition. And she was like, I'm thinking maybe I'll do it next year. I'm like, why not this year? Right? Like,
That's something you guys need to know about Rob. Don't ever bring up an idea with him
Oh,
unless
God.
you're fully prepared to follow through with it. Like, even if it's just a little thought,
yeah,
nope, he'll be like, okay, we'll do it tomorrow.
do
And
it.
you're
We're
like,
going.
oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, like I don't know. Everything that's presented to me, I'm sort of just like, I missed out on so much of my life. I missed out on over 10 years. I missed out on being able to do all these things. I was immobile. What can I do now? And not just physically, but how can I push myself emotionally and mentally? And so, yeah, that's where I am now. And absolutely love what we're doing with the podcast. I love how we are serving the community. And you mentioned, Shay, how we're serving ourselves by doing this. This is very therapeutic, I think, for all of us. And so it means a lot to me to be able to give back, but I think it just means a lot to me to be a resource for the men in our community and our community as a whole. So that's Rob.
Love it. Woohoo. Yeah, boy. I didn't get to
Oh,
the
shoot.
sound effects in time. So I'll
But I
do
like
my
that.
own.
Yeah, boy.
But yours was good. That was really good.
Yeah, boy.
Spot on.
It
Wow.
was.
Okay. Are you guys ready for the next question? This is
Can I just say, it's so hot wearing a robe. Like, Murph, you haven't moved. I'm like so fidgety because I'm so uncomfortably warm.
I'm like ready to fall asleep. I'm just like
You're so, yeah. I'm just like, holy shit.
night.
it's so nice.
Coming off soon, guys. It's coming off.
You're just looking for an excuse to
I'm already
take
not
off.
wearing pants.
Oh boy.
Yep.
It's one of
Okay.
those shows. All right. All right.
One of those shows.
Okay, so one of the things that I found when coming into the bariatric community is I started seeing all these acronyms and I'm like, what the heck do all of these mean? So I thought this was a really good question. And it's kind of like, you guys know how I love to throw little games at you. This is like a little pop quiz, but I think you guys will know all of these. So can you guys explain what these certain acronyms mean? We have WLS, VSG, RNY, NSV, and I threw this one in for Rob because he uses it all the time, SMH.
I'm gonna
Go.
let Murph do it.
You want me to do all of them?
Yeah, man.
All right.
You're a social media darling. Go for it.
Weight loss surgery,
Uh-huh.
vertical sleeve gastrectomy,
Mm-hmm.
Roux-en-Y. Roux-en-Y. I can never say that right. I feel like I'm
No,
on
you
stuff.
said, yeah, that's right. Roux-en-Y.
Roux-en-Y.
And that's
Roux-en-Y.
like gastric bypass. That's what
Yeah,
Rob
right.
had.
Non-scale victories, like we like to celebrate every Wednesday night at 8:30 on happy hour.
Smooth.
And what is that one? SMH. Shaking my head.
Yeah.
I had to ask Rob. He uses that one all the time. I'm like, what does that mean? I had to ask him one
OMG.
time.
Well, do you young people not use that anymore? Is it not
No.
fetch?
No.
No.
Or is
That's
it
like AOL status. Like we
No,
stopped.
yeah,
using
it's like
that a long
ICQ.
time
Young,
ago.
us young people do not.
That's,
use
yeah. Jason Smith. Hello, buddy.
Hey.
Hey.
So yeah, young people don't use shake my head, eh?
No.
Just
no.
us Facebook old folk.
Yep, just the Facebook folk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah,
All
boy.
right. All right.
Yeah, boy.
Well,
Well,
should I
Shay,
share my story a little bit?
Yeah.
A minute to share. Yeah, your 12 years of
I got
life.
I had surgery when I was 5 years old. No. Contrary to popular belief, I am not a teenager. No, my story is a little different than these old geezers because I had my surgery at 27 years old. So I had the gastric sleeve. And what kind of prompted my journey was I had tried to lose weight the majority of my adult life, trying all the diets, trying medication, not like GLP-1 medication. That was before those times, but I tried a bunch of different things and it was very frustrating that it wasn't working. I got diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome or PCOS in December of 2020. And it was like really devastating, but also validating that to have a diagnosis because I had always had, ready guys, I'd always had irregular periods we'll get to that more later.
Pooping
Um,
periods.
that's right. So I'd always had irregular periods. My hormones have always been just out of whack. And so I did a lot of deep diving into learning more about that in that time period. Yeah, no pun intended. And then it was really frustrating having the information I had. I honestly was eating, moving my body, doing everything that in theory should have allowed me to lose excess weight according to like what we've been taught. Um, and it wasn't until me and my husband wanted to start trying to conceive where it just wasn't happening. And it was really frustrating. And that's what kind of spurred me to look into bariatric surgery. My mother in law, we did an episode with her. She had actually had this surgery and she was like, "Hey, have you considered doing this? Like, what are your thoughts?" And so at first I was like, "No, like I can do it on my own." Like, I think many of us have had that moment, right? Of like, no, we can just do it. I've done it before. Well, I can do it again, da da da. But then I started looking into the research on pregnancy and newborn outcomes for people that, or for women that have had bariatric surgery. And I was like, wow, like this is something that I think could be really helpful. So that's kind of what prompted me to look into the surgery. And then I think the biggest eye-opening moment was when I had heard from a seminar type thing that obesity was a disease. And I was like, interesting. I've never thought of it that way. And looking into more of how it comes from, genetics, it comes from lots of different things. It's not just about eating less and exercising. And that was also really validating because it's like, I think it's always been seen as something that is a moral thing. Like, oh, I'm just a lazy fat person who, if I just ate less and moved more, I wouldn't have this issue. And seeing it as a disease, it was like, whoa, okay, this is a tool, getting bariatric surgery. This is a tool to help with my disease of obesity. Like, so that's when I was just full bore, ready to go, get it done. So I had my surgery in March of 2022. And from my highest weight of 283 pounds, I've lost just about 100 pounds in that time. So my hormones are more regulated now. I have regular cycles. The boys love when I talk about that. And it's just cool, though, to see how my overall health has improved. And I'm so thankful that I did it earlier rather than later in life. And I feel like my body has responded really well because of that. So that's a little bit about my story. Hey, Murph, should we ask Rob the question? I think that it kind of goes along.
Real quick, you've got a lot of other things going on too, Shay.
Yeah.
With your other, with your YouTube channel and your merch and stuff like that. Can you share about some of the things you got going on? You're doing the cooking with Mel. I mean, you got lots going on too, and you're supporting the community and doing tons more stuff.
Yeah, well,
here.
yeah, I started sharing my story on YouTube because when I was looking into getting bariatric surgery, all I had ever really seen is like people on my 600-pound life. And I wasn't like at that point, and the majority of people aren't, by the way, who have bariatric surgery. Those are just more of the extreme cases that make for good TV. And that's why we see them more. And I didn't really see many people who were my age who had gotten surgery. And so I was looking all over YouTube and Instagram, like trying to find people. And that was only like a couple years ago. Like I feel like so many more people have started sharing their stories since then. So there's more people out there. But when I was looking, there weren't very many. And so I decided that I would start my YouTube channel and share my story. And that's kind of how I started doing that. And so I do have a YouTube channel. I have merch, but I think the thing that I'm most excited about that I just announced last week is I'm actually writing a fiction book or a novel called Obese. And it's a story about a woman named Jillian and her struggle with obesity. And even with that, like I never, my training is not in literature. I didn't go to school for English. My background's in psychology, but I've always enjoyed writing. And so that's been a big mental block to break through of, getting to do something fun like that. And I'm hoping that it's just something that is validating for people, and also something that is just more of a window for those that haven't struggled with obesity, what it can feel like. And just as an example, if you guys want to go check it out, I have the prologue and first chapter in my Stan store on my Instagram and TikTok platforms. But Dylan was reading it and he was like, I had no clue that those were thoughts like that went through like anybody's head. Like, because the opening scene is an airplane scene, and I know that's something we talk about in the community, just what it was like to travel when we had excess weight. And so I have Jillian in there and like doing internal dialogue and just setting the stage with that. He's like, I just didn't realize all of those considerations and things that you thought about. Like, that's just so wild. So I'm hoping to have the book completed by the end of next year. But if you want to go check out a little snippet, that's live. So I'm really excited for that.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. I'm excited for that.
Me too. You know what I'm most excited about? The cover.
Yeah.
With Fabio-esque bariatric men holding the character.
Her.
Yeah, in the rain, shirt, button down to here, but open, chest bared. Yeah, it's gonna be good. I love it.
Yeah,
Steel, eat your heart out.
Yes.
Exciting.
So, Murph, is that a good time? Since should I ask Rob the question that people?
Oh gosh, you're setting me up here, guys.
Yeah, I think it's something that Rob could totally relate to. It's not to get too serious or anything, but you know.
Yeah, it is a little serious.
Rob, if you don't mind sharing.
I share it all.
Can you please explain the menstrual cycle, how it works, in as much detail as possible? That would be great.
100%.
Let's do it.
Let's rewind back to grade 9 health. So a menstrual cycle is essentially menstrual. It's essentially a woman's monthly bleeding. That's why we call it
menstrual Marty here.
Menstrual Marty. Let's give it a name. Menstrual Marty comes every month and visits every month.
Flo.
Aunt Flo my friend is visiting this month. And often we call that the period, ladies. And so essentially when you menstruate, your body discards the monthly buildup of the lining of the uterus. You also get rid of and sort of shed your menstrual blood and tissue through your uterus and out of the opening of your cervix, and it passes out of your body through your vagina. And so this happens every month, and obviously at some times you will feel pain and discomfort, but it is also a good sign of reproduction and reproductive health. So it is a good thing at the same time, but you also want to make sure that you are getting your regular checkups, make sure that you have a healthy reproductive system and healthy menstrual cycles.
Whoa!
Bam.
Yes.
I'm impressed. You've obviously been listening to some of the things that I've said.
Yeah.
I'm a dad. Lily's ready.
Yale,
Lily's ready.
That's your Yale degree coming out right
there. Coming in hot.
That's Yale. I did women's health in Yale, guys.
Yeah.
Class of
you're the president
I'm the president.
You're the chairwoman of the Yale.
Ooh, this is a fun question, not about poop or periods. Sorry, guys. But I thought this was a fun one. What traits do you admire most about each other?
Ooh, that's a good one. Who wants to start? Murph's leaning in.
Okay, yeah, I'm leaning in. Not them thighs. Sorry, Rob. No. I love that Rob takes this show, what we do, what we stand for, very seriously. We had a talk today about integrity, behind the scenes talk, and Rob is just so passionate about this community, and I'm just thankful that he approached me and pulled me into what he wants to do for this community, and be a part of Rob's vision. I mean, our vision together, but I mean, Rob is kind of the steering wheel, behind this car. Sometimes we try to yank it away, but he's just a driving force, and yeah, I just love your work ethic and your integrity, and you're the man's man, and yeah, I admire that about you. And Shay, your passion for this community, and the women for this community, like that's why we brought you on to the show. Like you are hashtag the girl, and but your heart is very genuine. And every time I've come to you with an issue that I've had, you've always um, validated my feelings, and you're just so raw and real and down to earth, and you're just like you just got so much wisdom packed into your 17-year-old little body, and I just love it. And that's like a lot of different things, but um yeah, so those are how I see you guys, and you're just two awesome people I could not be more proud of. So
Aw,
Thank you. I
thanks,
appreciate it.
buddy.
off that, I'm going to the bathroom.
All right. Tag me in then.
Okay.
Can you hear while you're in the bathroom?
No, but I'll be quick.
Okay, so I'll start with Shay then. So Shay,
I know,
you-
dig deep here.
right. Shay is the most level-headed 12-year-old that I've ever met. Right? Like I am no, but like I find that, Murph had said like I'm very passionate, I just run at things, I do that. Like Shay is the person who, like, she makes a joke that, oh, someone's got to keep these boys in check. She definitely does, right? Like she knows that I will go at everything nonstop. Any idea we have, I will work myself to death to try to make sure whatever we're working on goes. And she's always the one to keep, to remind me to keep things into consideration, to keep what's best for me into consideration. She keeps me very, very even keeled, or she tries to keep me very, very even keeled, which is a very
Try being
difficult
the
thing.
key. Yeah.
100%, very, very
So,
difficult. And
so
I
much
totally
respect
recognize.
for your wife, Mary. She's
Yeah.
cool. She's the cool lady.
She just rolls her eyes and walks away, and she's like, "You're just gonna do Rob." So, But like, I think that is so important. And you are. I think why it was so surprising to me how young you and Dylan look, and when I first met you, is because I would never have thought that based on meeting you and your wisdom and how good of a head you have on your shoulders. Like you are very mature, you're very wise, you know what you're doing, you know who you are. And if you don't, you lie just as well as I do. So
I learned that one from you.
there you go. But no, I think, we were just like, oh, you're in good hands if you're in with Rob and all that. No, I think we are in good hands because you help keep us, help keep the ship steered in the right way. So that is for Shay. For Murph, realistically, I think Murph is, I always say that Murph is the guy that everyone relates to. And I think it is because the way that you share your journey and your story and everything, it's what a lot of us go through. It's a lot of the stuff that we have, but you have the bravery to share it. So, as much as, I'd like to say, oh, you're vulnerable or whatever. No, it's your bravery, because even you coming on today and talking about the things that you did, it's not easy. We are in front of people. This is out there. People, and I 100% hear you about like winning the award. It was great, but at the same time, it was also hard. And I knew it was hard for you because of the challenges that you're going through. And so the bravery that you constantly and always exhibit and show is exemplary. I absolutely love that. And yeah, you are so for anyone who is a parent and they watch, or their kids have ever watched a show called Bluey, the dad, they're like dogs. It's Australian. The dad dog to me is always like, I always, back then, especially when I wasn't well, I was always like, I want to be this dad, because he always plays with his kid and he does all these different things. And I'm just like, fuck, this guy is really cool. I don't even know what his name is, dad. And you are probably the closest thing to that I see in social media, and what I've been around, right? Like the fact that, I've done a lot of these changes because I want to be there for my kids and do things with my kids. And, how many videos have I seen of you doing things with your kids and the happiness in them and me seeing it firsthand? A lot of times I feel like shit because I'm very grateful for what we have. And I think that you have had a lot of challenges, but you are brave enough to keep going at it. And so the fact that you and Elise have had, you both got this new job and everything has turned around, like I am super, super happy and proud for you guys because I know that just things are turning around for you and I'm excited for you. So that's Murph.
I
Oh,
love
thank
it.
you. That's like the highest compliment I think I've ever been given. The dad from Bluey. I watched
Fucking cool, right?
that show for him. Like he is
Yeah.
my hero.
Yeah.
And like I love that guy. I can't
He's
remember
so
his name,
good.
off the head, but
Martin. I don't know. I made that shit up. Let me
no,
I'll
it's not
find out.
Martin. God,
Bluey's
Right.
dad.
Bluey's dad.
um,
Bandit. What?
Bandit. Dang it, I knew that. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah. It was funny.
All
guy.
right, my turn for you boys. Just keeping you in suspense. Okay, let's see. So Rob, it was, I think, meeting you in person this last time. Me and Dylan talked about this a lot with you. Most generous person I think I've ever known, and not in the way of financial, even though you are generous in that way too. But like the thing that I love about Rob is he is so damn intentional with everything he does, and generous with his time, the way he approaches people. This guy is freaking busy. Like, and I'm always a person who says like you can make time for anything, and he is an example of that. But it doesn't matter like what he has going on. If someone needs something, he's going to be the first person to be there. Like at the Just Be You Awards, he was the first person awake every morning and the last person to go to bed every night because he just is very intentional and generous with the time that he gives. So that's something me and Dylan talked about a lot with you, Rob, which is really cool. Murph, what I love about you is that I think Rob said it great of like that you're very brave in the way that you share things. And I think what I love too is that you're always willing to like learn and grow and admit when mistakes are made and just like course correct. And that's something that I really admire and try to emulate from you. And I just really appreciate that about you. And I know that like if I have issues or if I made like a really big mistake, you would be somebody I would feel very comfortable going to and be like, Murph, I made a big mistake. What do I do here? Like, what do I do from here? Because you're just very gracious in that way and gracious to other people. We're still working on gracious towards yourself, but I just really admire that you're willing to try new things and adjust, and you're very adaptable in that way, I think is really cool. And between the two of you, it's been really neat. I feel like you guys, because I'm an only child and I've never had siblings before, I feel like you guys are very much protective and give me that like older brother feel that I've always wanted. And so I could go on, but those were the main things I wanted to share.
See, and even the older, I bought you shots, right?
Yeah.
So there you go.
Fun fact, Rob, I've only taken 2 shots in my life. And with Rob, I took the other 2 shots. So I've only had 4 shots in my life. 2 of them were with Rob and Murph. So if that tells you anything.
There you go. That was a nice question.
Right?
Whoever sent that question, thanks, guys. That was nice.
Yeah.
That's
something that we've never. I mean, we just assume that everybody else assumes those things about us. Behind the scenes kind of stuff. That. Yeah, I like that question a lot. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, how are you guys feeling? It's just the 3 of us tonight, so we don't have to play by any rules. We do have more questions, but we are coming up on the hour. What do you guys want to do?
Doesn't matter to me.
About what we've got going on, maybe with the calendar, some information with that. Yeah.
Like that, perhaps?
Like that. Okay.
How did
Do you
do
happen to have any calendars that showcase bariatric men's journeys available for purchase? That was not a staged question at all. That was just totally random. Someone put it in there. I was like, weird.
Yeah. That's weird. Currently, no. But soon. So for people who don't know, and yeah, this is a great time to actually just give an update for this. And this is something that we've been working on for, we've been talking about this well before the JBYs, and it just sort of really intensified after the JBYs. But for anyone who doesn't know, we had the idea of creating a men's calendar that started as an inappropriate calendar, and then it ended up turning into a legit, hey, like, we started this for men. Let's highlight men. And so with the ladies from OSLP at the JBY Awards, we took some photos with some of the men in our bariatric community, as well as the specialists and people who support us in the bariatric community. And the goal was to create or to work with the Weight Loss Surgery Foundation of America. If you don't know who they are, go follow them. They pretty much are a non-for-profit organization that helps with fundraising to provide bariatric surgery for patients who don't have the financial means to get that surgery. And so we had worked with them, and we're just waiting for it to come up. We will share this with you. They created a grant called the Waiting Table Grant because of all the stuff that we want to do and all the work we are putting into this. The calendar is just the first of many things that we want to do to help. As mentioned, this is all about the community for us. It always has been. And so we are always thinking about how can we continue to give back to the community. And I can't think of a better way than to help provide bariatric surgery or pay for bariatric surgery for someone, seeing how much it's changed our lives. So last week, we met the recipient of the grant, which was amazing. And if you tune in next week, you too will meet the recipient of the grant. She is going to be on the show with us, as well as Laura from the Weight Loss Surgery Foundation of America. So you can hear what they do, but you get to meet who we're doing this all for. And even when we were talking with them, I remember sitting in her shoes and her telling us all these things. I remember being that person and having the same questions and worries that she has. And so, it was amazing to talk with her. And for anyone who wasn't there last week, Dr. Fridley at the Surgical Associates of Bayonet Point. Holy crap, I got it.
I know.
SABP.
I'm very impressed. Yeah, good job.
He has donated the surgery and his program. So he will be providing the surgery to the recipient of the grant. We also have quite a few people who are sponsoring to help not only just provide the surgery, but to make sure it's successful afterwards. So we have a lot of people who are helping out with different communities, different things like support groups, supplements, lots of amazing things that'll all be shared soon. But I don't know, this is, we're all passionate about what we share on the waiting table and with our own stories, but I am 100% like super proud of not only the community for banding together and supporting this so much. I'm proud of us, right? Like I've only been on social media with this for not very long, and same thing with you guys. And I don't think anyone has ever done this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for us to be doing this and giving back, it's a testament to not only our values and what we hold dear and what's important to us, but the extension to our community and what that community has done to us. So that is the big thing I am excited about. We have so many other things in the works. Mary, I can't wait to put that calendar up in your RV. Let us know what month you want for us. I can't say, I think there are a couple months that are taken, but we will take requests. They will be up soon. We're hoping timeline wise, please don't hold me to this, but hold me to this because it's going to friggin' happen. We want to get the grant page up this weekend or by this weekend. So if for whatever weird reason you don't want a calendar of bariatric men hanging in your room or your office or your kitchen or whatever the case might be, you can still donate to the grant, which will go towards the surgery. We're hoping to start pre-orders in about a week or two, so you can pre-order ahead of time. Oh, Shay has something.
Well, and I was gonna say, or if you want a cool new hoodie or a
Ooh.
sweatshirt, if you want some waiting table merch, everything is 20% off right now. I'm gonna put the link in the comments, just gonna leave that there. But 50% of all of those profits that we get from that until the end of the year is gonna also be going to this grant directly. So maybe you don't want a picture of, Rob's thighs. I don't know who out there would say that, but if you don't, you could support by wearing some waiting table merch. We have tie-dye, we have water bottles, we have like lots of fun stuff up there, and that's also going to be supporting the community. That's like what I'm getting all my family and friends for Christmas this year is
Lots of
waiting
stock
table merch
stuffers. That and calendars.
and calendars. Yep.
Sexiest Christmas ever. So yeah, if you guys order, you will get yours before Christmas. So they will go in the stockings if you have stockings.
How much is it for Murph and Rob for you guys to hand deliver in Santa outfits? Is that extra or what?
It's free. Comes with
Rob's like, I will pay you to have me come and do a dance for you.
Yeah. Santa
What's the exchange rate on
baby.
that now? It's
Say it again.
coming from Canada. What's the exchange rate on?
Oh gosh.
To get some of
Yeah,
that
see?
USD dollars, right?
I need that.
USD
I need that.
money.
That was one of the cool things when we were looking at like pricing everything out and sourcing and doing all this. I'm just like, we should do Canadian because it's so cheap in Canada. Our dollar sucks, guys.
Canada.
Right? Oh, Savannah said stop like she's Sammy Sweetheart from Jersey Shore.
Stop. Ronnie.
Yeah,
Is it
Ronnie. Yeah.
Stop.
Who did we say in JBY was Ronnie? It was Sam? Was it?
Sam.
Did we say Murph?
I think we said Murph was Sam.
Murph. Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
I still don't get the reference, but
And then I got Snooky.
Yeah.
See, she does.
Obviously.
It ran RAHHHHN. Why am I Snooky? Guys in the comments, tell me why I'm Snooky. But I'm Snooky apparently.
you got the hair going on.
I got
Yeah.
poof. Look at
That-
this volume, guys.
Yeah,
Mhm.
volume. She has a big
Here,
hair.
okay, here's a sweet comment. I'll leave. This wasn't a question, but someone had left this in our question box, and I thought it was sweet. Someone said, I just want to say you are all such huge role models for me. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice. Yeah, that's very nice. Honestly, like, I think every time someone leaves a comment for us and says things like, oh, you're an inspiration, a role model, it's just, I know more, like, I still find it hard to take,
Mhm.
right? Because like, we're sort of just, you're just trying
We're
to do the
just
best that
weirdos
we can
doing a
do it, right?
podcast.
Yeah.
Exactly, right? And even before then, we're just some dudes with a Instagram page or a Facebook page or whatever, or TikTok, and sort of just like, how many countless people have done the same thing as us.
Mhm.
The difference is we're sharing it with other people, right? And I
Mhm.
think that's why there's so much power to sharing your experience and your story. You are not weirdos, Jenna says.
I actually take offense to that. I claim weirdos as like a good
Yeah.
term. So
My daughter's like, she would rather be weird than cool. When you're like, oh, you're so cool, she's like,
Yes.
stop, I want to be weird. I'm like, you are weird, but
Yeah,
you could be
dude.
weird and cool. Like, I'm weird, I'm cool.
she's my
too, though.
sister from another mister.
Ugh,
Me and
Weird that
Lily,
you don't want to
man.
be cool.
Right? Like,
Being weird is cool. That's kind of the new cool. You guys are just a little behind the times.
No, we're fetch. We're fetch.
Coach
Every time you say that, I want to eat pad thai and watch Mean Girls. I think that's
Let's
what
do
I'm
it.
going to do this weekend.
Let's do it. Savannah says, I'm Snooky because I always have my thighs out.
That makes sense.
Yeah, maybe.
You can't deny that
Yeah.
one.
No, it's
Mm-mm.
true. It's true.
We're going to have to do another one of these because we have some more good questions, but it would take like another hour at the minimum. So we'll just have to do another Ask Me Anything.
Yeah, honestly, I miss doing these.
Yeah.
You know, like we've
I've
been
missed
so
you
busy.
guys. I know. Well,
100%.
we talk literally every day, but it's just we've had so much going on. So it's like, oh, this is
Yeah.
nice just to like catch up.
It is because, like, you know, every episode, especially right now with everything going on with the calendar, it's that has so much of our bandwidth and our attention and everything we're doing, and so it's awesome to sort of get back to us and all the things that we're doing, right? Oh
Van,
shit!
Is it okay if we share that? I mean, you put it in the comments.
just
You know, we
shared it,
share our comments.
so there you go. All right.
That is so freaking cool. I'm going to show it.
Aw.
Shit.
So Savannah is Murph's little sister, aka like I feel like she's my twin. Because of you guys, I'm currently looking into weight loss surgery. Haven't told Murph yet. You guys inspired me so much. Ah, that's so exciting.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh.
Oh, are we gonna get him to
Okay.
cry, Murph?
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
Are we gonna get the
Murph's
hashtag?
crying. Thanks a lot,
Yes.
Savannah.
Yeah.
Savannah's
That's
like,
amazing,
actually,
though.
I wasn't.
She's
I
like,
was just silly.
psych.
I just wanted to.
90s
get
kid
Murph
says
to
I
cry.
hated to say that.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Oh,
cool.
that's so freaking cool.
No, Savannah, you can't play with me and my friends.
She's like, hey, can I be on the
She's been
podcast
part of this
too?"
community from day one. She's
Yeah.
always been here. You're like, it's like, oh,
Not
you
in the
haven't had
room.
surgery yet. You've been part of the community all along.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's
cool.
awesome.
We'll talk.
No,
Sure.
we'll talk, Savannah, because we're
We'll
friends too. We'll talk.
Stop.
Stop, Ron.
Stop.
Stop.
Yeah, honestly, we should do this again. You know, when things calm down, I know that we're pretty, you know, packed up, but when things calm down, when the calendar's all out, yeah, let's do this again.
I want to do, can we do ugly sweater, ask us anything, Christmas edition? Let's do
That'd be
that.
fun.
Sure.
That'd be
Yep.
fun.
We're
Yeah.
gonna take time off around Christmas too, right? So the last show that we do before Christmas, let's do a good one. Let's do an ugly sweater, ask us anything. But prior to that, especially if we have time, let's do a panel. I want to do a panel. You wanna
Like
do a
with
panel
other
show?
people?
No, just with us. Of course, with other people.
Well, we are kind of a panel, the three of us, like just where we have more people and have questions, or what kind of panel?
Yeah, I just, I think last time, remember we did Berry Nation right before Christmas. Remember that, Murph? And yeah, it was fun to have everyone sort of celebrate and do all that. Like, let's do a panel of people, and it could be, we have so many amazing supporters. Like, look at all these people in the comments who constantly come every Wednesday and support us. Murph's crying, and this time,
Look at this. All this time, Murph thought I was supporting him, but he was inspiring me. Oh, how freaking cool. I love
Man,
all
it was
this
nice.
love. Go to
Aw.
bed.
You'd be
Bad.
good on a panel,
Yeah.
Savannah.
Well, so what I would love more, I'm going to just put this out there for anybody who's listening. So next week, I think it'll be the first time on our show we've ever had a guest who's pre-surgery, right?
Who's not a specialist?
That I'm aware of. Who's not a specialist.
Yeah.
I would freaking love, I'm putting this out there. I would love people who are in the process of thinking about surgery or who are pre-surgery, like Savannah, if you end up like, that would be really cool. Like, I want to get more people like that who are in that space, because those are the people I was looking for when I was in that space too. So
Yeah.
just putting it out there, I would love more pre-surgery people in 2024.
There you go.
Yeah.
Answer the call.
Caca!
That's a call. So if you hear that, you gotta answer it.
You hear the sound.
Caca!
Oh, answer it.
There you go.
Or a yeah, boy.
Yeah, that's the call. If you ever hear this, if you're ever just walking outside and all of a sudden it's just turn around and you answer that call.
Yeah.
I like
the
how it
waiting
has
table.
a little laugh and everything. It's like,
It's
yeah.
creepy. So creepy. How is
Uh-oh.
Oh.
That was Marcus.
That's Marcus. He's just sort of, you just see him out of my corner. He's just like,
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
what a weirdo, this kid. All right. This was a good one, guys. That was awesome. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. That was so fun. And obviously, thank you guys. Like, I know that Murph has mentioned wanting to do something like this again. Shay, you've mentioned wanting to do this, so I think it's awesome. Kathleen has said, "I wish I listened to you guys pre-surgery." That means so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Share, and get more people to the table.
Yes.
I want more pre-surgery folks.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, boy.
And all are welcome to. Like everybody, no matter where you are in your journey, no matter, if you're losing it the natural way or having surgery or GLP-1s or whatever the case may be.
Or if you just want to have a fun time and
Or
like
you
surgery is
talk
we
about
have a lot
periods
of
and
non-surgery listeners as well. So my dad being one of them.
Yeah, Gringo Rob was on too. Thanks, Gringo Rob.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much again this was a great show again. Super fun. Great idea. Let's do it again. And again, thank you guys all for joining us on another episode of the Poops and Period podcast, where we're serving the weight loss community.
1 pound.
All right. Murph, just so you know, Shay messed it up last week.
Oh, big time, bro. That's why I'm like,
God.
Oh, man.
It was rough. It was a rough go.
It was like, I was like, where we're serving the weight loss community, and then she goes like this.
It was because of my Wi-Fi. I did.
I'm
say
like, are we doing like Japanese samurai fighting, like dubbing? Am I supposed to be like 1 pound at a time or something? It's just
what
like, no,
was that voice?
I don't know.
Do that again. I've never heard that.
Nope. Only one time.
That was insane.
Never again. Watch the recording.
Wow. I'm going to. That's going to be one of our sound effects.
That's weird. Bye, guys. Have a good night. Thank you.
Yeah. Salute.